As I said earlier in one of my earlier videos about Super Tuesday, another, I don't know what to say about this guy. Of course, I'm talking about Mark Robertson, the MAGA Republican candidate for governor for the state of North Carolina. A lot of people don't know who this guy is, and for that, I'm going to have to educate you as to what this guy is and what he believes in and what he does and why he believes in the things he does. And trust me, it's pretty damn sick when you hear this. So this is my trigger warning for all of you right now. A lot of I'm going to use video clips and not to mention tweets and Facebook posts from Mark Robertson. And a lot of it is pretty damn sick. And a lot of it is very, very offensive to people of certain ethnic groups and members of the LGBTQ. So viewer discretion advised. Mark Robertson has been endorsed, obviously, by Donald Trump, calling this guy Martin Luther King on steroids.
This is Martin Luther King on steroids, okay? Now, I told that to Mark. I said, I think you're better than Martin Luther King. I think you are Martin Luther King times 2.
Martin Luther King on steroids, Martin Luther King on steroids. This guy has some of the most hateful things to say about the LGBTQ, about Jews, and especially about African Americans, which I'm going to go through in a few moments. But take a look at these videos of church sermons from him. Now, he fancies himself a pastor, a preacher. Take a look at what he says about the LGBTQ.
Classroom one time we were talking about, and they said, this fellow was a homosexual, looked at me and said, so you think your wife and you think your heterosexual relationship is superior to my husband and our homosexual relationship? Yes! There's freedom, and there's liberty, and then there's pure lunacy. And lunacy is turning on the Olympics and seeing a man lifting weights against a woman. Lunacy is turning on the television and seeing a story in the local news about a man wearing a rainbow dress with horns in his head, his face all painted up, dressed up like a woman, sitting reading to children. Back in the day, we had them kind of folks back in the day. Back when I was a kid, my mom used to tell me about it. She used to tell me, y'all go down to the playground now. If y'all see anybody out there hanging around in a raincoat, come on. And you don't see no pants hanging out in a raincoat, y'all get y'all stuff and come on home, cause that's what we call a pervert. And you don't get out there. Right! Everybody thinks this stuff is new. This ain't new. Somebody somewhere right now on the internet grooming somebody's child to put their hands on it right now. You ain't got no reason to be teaching these children those kind of concepts unless you got some like the old folks used to say, some idea about putting your hands on. Transgender movement in this country, if there's a movement in this country that is demonic and that is full of the spirit of Antichrist, it is the transgender movement. And this same people going to tell me, you need to believe in global warming. And then they tell me, follow the science.
They're demonic. They're evil. And, oh man. This guy is supposed to be Martin Luther King on steroids. Martin Luther King had no problem with the LGBTQ, especially when Bernard Raskin, one of the people, actually the person who actually organized the March on Washington, the I Have a Dream speech, that beautiful moment outside the Lincoln Memorial, when he made that incredible speech. That was Raskin. And yes, he was black, and yes, he was gay. two of the things that Mark Robertson hates. But it gets worse from there. I mean, what I'm about to quote to you are directly from Talking Point Notes article from 2023. And a lot of it is going to be incredibly offensive for Jewish people. For that, I apologize, but I'm going to give you my reasons before this video is over. Just bear with me. Quoting from the article, in a 2021 Robertson sparked outrage from Jewish groups when he published a post filled with Yiddish slurs and references to Israeli currency, wherein he declared the Black Panther superhero movie was based on a character that was created by an agnostic Jew, put to film by satanic Marxists in an effort to pull the shankies out of your swansive pockets. That's Robertson talking about. And obviously he's talking about the Marvel Cinematic Universe 3-time Academy Award-winning movie Black Panther, starring Chadwick Boseman. And of course, if you don't know what that movie, that word, swansive, forgive me if I'm saying it wrong. No, actually, don't forgive me if I'm saying it wrong, because it's a Yiddish word for an insult towards African Americans, towards black people. Basically, it's a Yiddish word for saying the N-word. But it gets worse. These, of course, coming from the article, these comments that drew attention are not Robertson's only controversial take on the Jewish issue. Over the years, Robertson repeatedly questioned why criticism of Nazis was so prominent as part of a political discourse. Forgive me, I'm sorry about that. He argued that Nazism was defeated in World War II, while the continued spread of communism was a more pressing problem. In one of these posts, which have not been reported before, Robertson seems to veer into Holocaust denial. This is quoting directly from his Facebook post. There is a reason why the liberal media fills the airways with programs about the Nazis and their 6 million Jews. Now you can see 6 million Jews as quotation marks on them. They murdered. There is also a reason that those same liberals don't fill the airwaves with programs about the communists and the 100 million people they murdered throughout the 20th century. Now, I get where he may be going with this, but when you start going off to La La Land, screaming about why there's this gigantic conspiracy, you ventured, actually, I'm going to be honest with you, he ventures directly into the Jewish space laser realm. The Jewish space lasers that Marjorie Taylor Greene thinks exists. But it only gets worse. I mean, he leans incredibly heavily hard on African Americans. This guy is a black man. Now, I'm not saying every black man has to believe in the same thing or feel the same way, but this guy takes it to a whole nother level with this. Here are just some of his Facebook posts that really stuck out in my mind, that shows that he has self-hatred. I mean, here's one. History Who Said It, #1. Pride in one's own race, and that doesn't simply imply contempt for other races, is normal among a healthy sentiment. I have never regarded the Chinese or Japanese as being an inferior to ourselves. They have the right to be proud of their past, just as we have the right to be proud of the civilization to which we belong. Now, I'll give him points on that. I'm a proud black man. I'm a proud African American. But but unlike the white supremacist that this guy completely ignores, I don't walk around a city screaming black power with my fist in the air. Although I probably should. But I definitely don't think black people are inherently superior to white people, or any other race for that matter. If you're going to say that you're superior to someone, you have to show that you're superior. And that means working hard, studying, doing the good things. This guy hasn't done anything like that. He just espoused direct hatred towards the black race. But this is the one, oh my God. This is the Facebook post that really got me right here. I'm going to try to read through it because it's a very long one, but it's pretty damn sick in my view. Someone asked me if I consider myself part of the African American community. I told them no. Then they asked me why. I said, why would I, they asked me why, and I said, why would I want to be a part of a community that devalues its fathers, overburdens its mothers, and murders its children by the millions? Why would I want to be part of a community? Now, you'll notice he has community, excuse me. You notice that he has community in quotation marks throughout this refrain. Why would I want to be part of a community that sucks from the putrid tit of the government and then complains about getting sour milk? Why would I want to be part of a community that allows itself in the 1960s to walk back to the very plantations it was freed from in the 1860s? And why would I want to be part of a community that celebrates the very lawlessness and violence that is killing its future right in front of them? Why would I want to be a part of that? Why? There is so much I can say about you, boy. There is so much I can say about you in this one post, showing to me that you have a direct hatred towards African Americans in this country, towards America, towards black people, towards the black skin in you. Why would you want to be? I mean, let me ask you this. You think the African Americans are the only culture that deals with having fatherless children? Let me put it this way, absentee fathers? You think African Americans are the only the only community in this country, the only race in this country that deals with overburdened mothers? You think that African Americans are the only ones in this country who are getting government handouts? As you call it, sucking at the teat of the government? You think African Americans are the only ones? I mean, this whole plantation bullshit is sickening to me. I keep getting that crap all the time. Why are you going back to the plantation? Why are you letting the Democrats put you back on the plantation? I vote Democrat because the alternative is terrible. And the alternative, obviously, is Donald Trump. And worse yet, do you really think that African Americans are the only ones breaking the law in this country? Do you think that black people are genetically predispositioned to do crime? You think that we're the only ones committing crimes in this country? You're going to laugh when you hear this, but this guy is a black white supremacist.
White power!
No, in fact, don't laugh. I am being damn serious about this. This guy is a straight up racist. And here's more proof of that. This is a Facebook post in which he reposted a picture of a t-shirt with a Confederate flag, a guy, and pissing on the NAACP logo. And his comments on that says 7 years ago, the then County Commissioner Billy, y'all pronounced an uproar with this. Excuse me. You think this t-shirt was completely unnecessary. The NAACP has done a fine job on pissing on itself and its legacy for many years now. What the hell have you done? What the hell have you done, Mark, that has been so great, that has contributed to America, that has contributed to your legacy? What have you done? Shook hands with Donald Trump? That doesn't really count, son. In fact, it's pretty damn sick. But let's get back to the LGBTQ just for a moment. This post, you see, the one thing about bigots is that they keep teetering to the point where they want to use the slurs. Well, this time he decided to use the slur against the LGBTQ in this post. They might as well make this flag football. Oh, targeting? Hashtag targeting? Excuse me. I mean, it's getting closer. If you can see from this post, he uses F8, the @ sign, and then G. But we all can read between the damn lines. You may think we're stupid, Robinson. Just don't talk to us like that we're stupid. We can read between the damn lines. You are a straight up racist. In the last post I want to show you, this isn't from Robinson. This is from Keith Edwards, a Democratic strategist. He posted this: the Republican Party, the just nominated. Excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm not reading this correctly. The just nominated Republican candidate for governor of North Carolina thinks Beyonce is satanic, says mass shootings are karma for abortion, called school shooting victims prostitutes, whatever the hell that means, thinks that the moon landing was fake, thinks lizard people are real, and called 9/11 an inside job, and thinks that American Idol is a sign of the New World Order. This is the Republican Party, folks. Yes, it certainly is. Yes, it is. I'm going to get through this because I got a small cough problem. Air's dry in here. It is the Republican Party. It really is. You got congressmen like Marjorie Taylor Greene screaming about Jewish space lasers, and when she was called out on it, tells the journalist in question to fuck off. Her words, fuck off. And now we got clowns like this. But the real thing is, I feel very sorry for this guy. Yeah. I feel very sorry for Mark Robinson. As a black man to a, whatever the hell you want to call yourself, of Robinson, I have the greatest pity for people like him, from people like Scott, the congressman who's trying to get, the black congressman in South Carolina, who's trying to get into Donald Trump's good graces to become his VP nominee. For someone like Candace Owens, who has a vehement hatred, they all have a vehement hatred for African Americans. But Robinson, he takes it to a whole new level with this shit. And this guy is trying to be governor of North Carolina. I think that's the most dangerous thing about this whole thing, because these people are trying to normalize things like this, the racism, the bigotry. But I really feel sorry for him. This guy is drowning in his hatred. And he wants to try to wrap it around Christianity. He wants to wrap it around God. But that is not going to work. And I find it incredibly offensive that Donald Trump even tried to link this guy to Martin Luther King, a man who didn't discriminate, a man who fought for freedom, a man who died for freedom. This guy didn't fight for jack squat. This guy hasn't sacrificed anything. The only reason why he's popular now among Republicans, especially about white Republicans now, is because he espouses the very things, the hatred, the racism, the bigotry, the very things that they believe in. And it is sickening. It is only a matter of time before he starts using the N-word in the church. Now, I'm a Christian, but if my pastor has said half of the crap that this guy has said, my face would not be in my current church right now. And you can take that to the bank. I will not allow this kind of crap. It's the same kind of, what is wrong with this guy? I mean, he's got to be older than I am, so he should understand the struggles that African Americans have to go through in this country. He should understand them. Obviously, he doesn't, or he doesn't care. All he has to do, I got in this quick. All he has to do, shake hands with Donald Trump, say yes sir, and he's got his endorsement. And that is pathetic. You sold your soul to Donald Trump. You sold your soul to this guy. I'm all sweaty. You sold your soul to this man. And for what? For what? You sold your soul. You sold your black skin to this guy. You espouse the very hatred that people like him traffic in, that people like him espouse in, that people like him thrive in. You devalued yourself to this guy for him. What, because you think he's going to say something about you, something positive about you, about on Truth Social? Oh my God, look, that he mentioned me. Donald Trump mentioned me on Truth Social. Is that what you did? Is that what you think? Is it worth the price? Whatever your hatred for the LGBTQ, get over it. Now I have my opinions, and I may not understand, but I'm not going to hate them for it, because that devalues me, and it should devalue you if you actually believe in freedom of rights. If you actually believe in humanity, that would devalue you. That will lessen you to be in that kind of hatred. I don't know what the hell happened to you, Robinson. Maybe you were raised like this. Maybe, I'm not going to go into the whole Dave Chappelle, raised by white people type of BS and becoming Clayton Bixby. I'm not going to do that.
White power!
Maybe you were always like this. And maybe Donald Trump gave you the okay to be like this. My brothers and sisters in North Carolina, now I don't know where you are politically. Maybe you think having a black governor is a good idea, but not this black governor. This man is hateful. Let's put a pin in what Donald Trump, being embraced by Donald Trump for a moment, and let's actually see this man for what he is. A bigot, a racist. This guy is almost steps away, 2 clicks away from being a mass shooter who will walk into a synagogue or walk into a LGBTQ nightclub and start shooting. Enough is enough with this crap. It's bad enough we have people like Mary Jean Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert in there. Now we have one of us, a black man, spouting this nonsense, spouting this hatred. Don't let it happen. Election day. Go vote and vote against this man. Now, I don't know who his Democratic challenger is. I don't care. But I know he's going to use every single one of those sound bites. And one more thing, I almost forgot to mention. After he won, not too long after he won the nomination, a video was brought out in which he wants women to lose the right to vote. I completely forgot about that. Here's what he said.
A few days ago and asked her, what America are we going back to make America great again? The one where women couldn't vote or black people were swinging from trees? I would say to him, if I was standing in front of him, I absolutely want to go back to the America where women couldn't vote. Do you know why? Because in those days we had people who fought for real social change, and they were called Republicans.
You do realize that if that happened, you would lose your right to vote too, Mark. Being stupid doesn't give you an excuse to be hateful. If you really believe in our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, you would repent of your hatred right now. I'm going to pray that you get the help you need. Because quite honestly, you're steps away from killing someone with your hatred. and it's going to be your responsibility. I will see to it, and all of us real Americans will see to it. Get some help, and quick. CTP, another truth. God bless. Peace to the left, justice to the right.